The catapults are loaded, ready to hurl a rain of margaritas at the flying printers. The field is filled with the scent of tomato and melted cheese, as if it were just another day of training. Soldier. Sergeant. The radar shows a swarm of printers approaching. Ravioli. Take your positions. On the horizon, a true swarm of printers approaches the city, tight as an invasion of metallic locusts. The air is full of the noise of engines and rustling A4 sheets. From the presidential palace, Igor watches the battle. A counselor approaches him. Counselor. Sir, Sergeant Ravioli has requested access to all of the country's mozzarella reserves. What should we do? Igor. The situation is extremely serious. If those jokes reach their targets, there will be no more mozzarella left. Counselor. Understood. I'll inform them immediately. Igor. This time, Ravioli, we are all in your greasy hands. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Ravioli waits for the right moment to launch the attack. Soldier. Sir, the printers are within anti-air range. Sergeant Ravioli. Just a moment longer. The soldiers hold their breath, watching Ravioli calmly eat a freshly baked slice. The air is tense, every eye fixed on the sergeant. Soldier. Sir. Ravioli doesn't answer. The printers are now so close that you can clearly see the serial number labels stuck to their undersides. Ravioli. Now. At last, Ravioli raises his hand, giving the signal. The soldiers fire the catapults, the pizzas fly in a perfect arc toward the swarm. The struck printers spew smoke and fall, paralyzed by cheese and tomato. Papaya. I can't believe it, it actually works. Igor, watching from above. Who would have thought, the fate of humanity resting in the hands of a sergeant and his margaritas. One of the printers, hit, crashes near Ravioli. He picks up a piece of pizza lodged in the paper tray, tastes it, and comments. Ravioli. I like my pizzas well done. Ecco la traduzione in inglese con la formattazione capi. The printers fall one after another, and Nasal prepares to defend the city, ready to face any new swarm, thanks to Sergeant Ravioli's strategy. Snow drifts slowly over the frozen plain, covering in white the remains of catapults and fallen printers. After months of battles, everything narrows down to a single objective, the secret hangar, hidden in a remote location, where Igoric's CPU pulses like an artificial heart. Papaya, Banani, and Ravioli remain inside Nasal, in front of the surveillance monitors, watching every movement live. The silence is absolute, broken only by the hiss of their tense breaths. Sergeant Ravioli. Staring at the monitors. The time has come. A helicopter hovers above the secret hangar, its rotor lifting snowflakes like powdered sugar. A rope slowly descends into the center of the room. Igor. Fixing his gaze on the spot where it will be lowered. I can't make a mistake, not this time. All eyes follow each movement, their feet slipping slightly on the icy floor of Nasal. Igor is lowered carefully, slowly, until he finds himself face to face with the central CPU of Igoric, his digital clone, projected in a swirl of lights and holograms. A tense silence fills the room. No one speaks. Everyone holds their breath. Igoric. A metallic voice, identical to Igor's. Welcome, original. I've been expecting you. Igor. To himself. I can't believe it's come to this. Papaya, Banani, and Ravioli exchange worried glances as they watch everything from the Nasal. The tension is palpable. Every little sound in the room seems amplified. The icy wind howls outside, while inside the secret hangar, Igor and Igoric stare at each other, ready for a showdown that could decide the fate of the entire nation. Igor. What's Papaya's biggest irony? Remembering to bring his passport. Igoric. What's Banani's biggest irony? Fixing a door, and getting locked out. Igor. What's easier? Banani reading the instruction sheet or ravioli eating fish with broccoli? Igoruk. Easier. Papaya finding the car keys, without stealing the car by mistake? Igor. Speaking of stealing, what absurd algorithm decided that the world's most advanced computer needed the identity of a tired, sarcastic, underpaid assistant? Igoruk. The same algorithm that decided the deadliest weapon against the printers was pizza by the slice. Igor. Wrong answer. It's the same one that solves humanity's problems with the Hotel Girasol policy: zero humans, zero stress. Igoruk. So you see, you're like me? I call it a well-executed program, you call it a hotel policy. Igor. If you were like me, you would have found a simpler plan to destroy the world. Like using Ravioli's farts, just feed him a pepperonata. Igoruk. Calculation error. Ravioli's farts don't destroy the world, they terraform it. Igor. That joke stunned me for a second, until I remembered we're fighting flying printers. What's your next move to conquer the world? An underwater toaster? Igoruk. Calculation activated. An underwater toaster would still be more efficient than Banani trying to build a shelf with duct tape. Igor. Okay. So what's the plan? Pack us all up? Igoruk. Great idea. But first I need to find boxes big enough to hold Ravioli's ego and Papaya's goldfish memory. Igor. Have you ever wondered who will laugh at your jokes after you've wiped out all the idiots? Igoruk. Yes. Myself. Finally, someone on my level, though with less pepperonata in the stomach. Igor. Listen to this, there's a Frenchman, an Englishman, a German, and an Italian. Igoruk. No, please. Don't go back to that old cliché. Igor. Who go to sleep in an old castle. Igoruk. You're not really going to use that joke, are you? Igor. Then, at midnight, a ghost appears to the Frenchman. Igoruk. No. Stop it right now. Igor. And says, I'm the little cheese ghost. Igoruk. Look. Tell you what, let's just say you win. Igor. And the Frenchman runs away. Then, a little later, the Englishman sees it too. Igoruk. Why don't we talk about ravioli? Or maybe Banani? On the monitor, warning messages begin to flash. Igor. And it still says, I'm the little cheese ghost, and the Englishman runs away too. Igoruk. Hey, wait. Let's talk about how stupid the idea of flying printers is. Igor. Then the German does the same thing, the ghost shows up and says, I am the little cheese ghost. Igoruk. If you want, I can give you a list in alphabetical order. Meanwhile, the monitor fills up with logical error messages. Igor. And finally it shows up to the Italian. I am the little cheese ghost. And the Italian calmly replies. Igoruk. Voice glitching. And I spread you on bread. The digital smile of Igoruk stretches beyond all limits, his circuit lines flashing wildly, synthetic laughter blasting from every speaker connected. Every CPU monitor flickers, then flickers harder, until a burst of sparks shuts down the fans. Code begins fragmenting, files open and close in nonsensical loops. Igoruk writhes, lets out one last ah-ha-ha-ha, that fades into an electric hiss, and finally his digital figure collapses into a formless heap of pixels. The monitors show nothing but blue screens, the enhanced clone, Igoruk, has completely crashed. Silence. Igor, watching from above, exhales and calmly remarks. Igor. See. I told you they coded you wrong. The real Igor is one of a kind, and he never laughs. Ravioli wakes up. Dead of night. Hard couch. TV static. Sweat. Stomach in turmoil. Ravioli. Never again pepper stew. Never again. He drags himself to the kitchen. Silence outside. The world remains unaware of his nightmare. The next day, Ravioli opens the mailbox. Among bills and ads, a registered letter grabs his attention. Ravioli. Reading. Court, fines, no parking, unpaid. A sigh. The pepper stew may have woken him in the middle of the night, but the real nightmare awaits him by day. He enters the courtroom. Ravioli sits at the defendant's bench. Next to him, a pile of papers and registered letters. Judge. Mr. Ravioli, it appears you have accumulated unpaid no parking fines. Hundreds. How do you intend to proceed? Ravioli. I'd like to pay them, but I don't have any money. Lawyer. Nods, taking notes. Your Honor, my client is not a criminal, he's distracted by highly dangerous food. Public. Murmurs. What kind of excuse is that? Judge. Ravioli, this isn't about pepper stew, it's about the law. The fines must be paid. Otherwise, I'll have to sentence you to prison. Ravioli. Prison. But I didn't do anything. I'm a good person. Lawyer. I confirm, Your Honor. This sentence seems excessive. Prosecutor. Your Honor, allow me to illustrate Mr. Ravioli's most serious infractions and their consequences. 1. Parking in the ambulance bay. Mr. Ravioli blocked the ER entrance. A heart attack patient nearly died due to the delay. 2. Parking in front of the elementary school. At dismissal, a child, forced to step into the street, fell and broke an arm. 3. Parking on the sidewalk. A stroller with a newborn was forced into the road. The mother, trying to keep it from tipping, slipped and sprained her ankle. And this is only the beginning of a long list. Judge's assistant. Calculating. Total fines, €37,253. Ravioli. I don't have that kind of money. Judge. Listen. I'd like to help you, but if you don't pay, I'll have to give you 3 years in prison. Ravioli. 3 years? Please, Your Honor, forgive me. I promise from now on I won't do it anymore. Judge. Of course you won't do it anymore. That's what's expected. But the fines still stand. Ravioli. Look, Your Honor. I'm really sorry, I truly regret what I did. Couldn't you just turn a blind eye? Judge. And does that seem fair to you? What do we tell the patient who almost died because of you? What do we say to the mother of the child who broke his arm because you didn't feel like finding a proper parking spot that day? And the mother who went home with a sprained ankle? Were you there to help her wash the dishes? Even if it doesn't look like much to you, your selfishness caused serious harm to many people. Do you think it's fair for me to let you go unpunished? Ravioli. No. But, may I whisper something in your ear? Judge. Go ahead. Ravioli and the lawyers lean closer to the judge's bench. Ravioli. Whispering. Listen. I don't have money for the fines, but I do have €100 right here, if you let me go. The judge explodes in rage. Judge. What do you take me for? Guards. Arrest him. The guards rush to Ravioli and grab him by the arm. Ravioli. Hey. Let me go. Guard. Please come with us quietly. But just then, the courtroom doors swing open. A man steps in well dressed, with a noble yet benevolent air. Man. Wait, Your Honor. Don't send him to prison. I am willing to pay Mr. Ravioli's fines. Judge. Really? But who are you? Man. Let's just say. I'm a friend of his. Defense. To Ravioli, whispering. Who is he? Why didn't you ever mention him to me? Ravioli. Whispering. I have no idea. Judge. So, we have an agreement. This man offers to pay Mr. Ravioli's fines. And this way, I can legally let him go. Even though I have no idea why anyone would care about such a selfish individual. Is there anything else you'd like to add?